Okay, now we're going to do a couple of steps. One is I haven't shown you how to make all the polygons here, and part of that, part of what we're going to do here is we've divided those curves off. We have all of these points. Our list, the way our points are understood, are not quite right, so we have to transpose that, and then we can put the polygons to it so you can actually see that geometry. And then what we're going to do in this clip also is just mirror that geometry so that we have that idea of a symmetrical object. And that requires jumping through a couple of loops to define this kind of mirror plane and things like that. So we'll go ahead and get started on that next. Once again, you can kind of look at these dimensions but I really think you should pay attention to this video because the list transpose is a really important concept here. It's how we manipulate our numbers in order to get our elements to line up the way we would want to. So at least let's step through that part. So I'm going to go ahead now and let's get, I'm pulling my other window off here. So one of the things I wanted to say too is always remember to save your file. And then behind the scenes here we have in Revit that geometry existing still. If let's go to the 3D view here. I'll create probably the first 3D view. So you can see we have that ghosting of the dynamo geometry inside of Revit. I'm going to make this full screen so that hopefully we'll get a little better vision. I'm going to change this back so we can see the definitions. And now we're going to do the idea of figuring out if we were to look at, I'm going to do a list create, or excuse me, a watch box. So watch box allows us to see what is in any element. Now, when this thing turns to a hand, which it does kind of aggravatingly, if you click on any object that allows for input, it'll usually change back to the arrow. I'm going to feed these points into the watch box. And I'm going to zoom in on this area because I want you to see what's going on here. We have a list inside of a list. Let me see if I can stretch this out at all. I don't know if it'll allow me to make it. I'm trying to figure out how to make it bigger. And Dynamo's changed a little bit here. There we go. So what we have are list of lists. So we have three lists, but each one of them contains that 7 points. So what we do is if we were trying to draw a polygon, our list is completely misordered. So we have point 1, point 2, point 3, and what we really need is point 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So we need 7 lists with 3 in each. So the way we're going to do that is we're just going to take those lists and transpose them. So we're going to use, once again, list transpose. List, let's see if it'll go with dot transpose. I'm going to take that, excuse the dog barking, put that list in there, and then pull this down to here. And now you'll see magically we have a list, which is actually 7 lists now. If we go all the way down, it'll go up to list 7. And let me try to pull this up so you can see it. Which means we have 3, 6, 7, 8 points, because remember we always have 0 as the start of the list, and each one of those has 3 points to it. So now we can actually just quickly do that polygon by points again. So I'm going to just take those lists now, put this in, and now we have that formation of all the triangles, or polygons should I say. So this is a really important idea in the manipulation of data. So we took data that was in one way very useless to us, and just by transposing those lists, we're able to create a usable data set. And that takes time to learn and understand, but it's the first time that I'm introducing that concept to you. So I'll end this clip here, and then we'll look at the mirroring in the next clip.